So before I actually started working on my car today, I whipped up these brackets for the radiator that I'm going to do a quick test fit that I was working on yesterday with, and I'm going to see if these work. And I cannot get the bushing on the peg. Oh crap, I'm stopped on there. Stopped on the point where I'm supposed to mount this up to. Alright, so this is too tall. Now to the actual work. So the parts came in to convert this from drive-by cable to drive-by wire. I have everything that I need to get this done. Everything is really simple compared to everything I was trying to do the first time when I was trying to get this to go drive-by wire. So the initial idea was to mount this pedal into the car. This is from a 2020 Civic Type R. I was not having any luck on getting this thing in. I was making brackets and stuff for this, and it was just not fitting to the point where I was just gonna take it to a shop eventually and get this thing mounted. And one of the problems that I was running into, like no matter how I try to mount this pedal, I always came into contact with the side. Plus also the pedal was a little bit higher than the brake, which probably would have been a problem. But yeah, I was trying to get this thing to mount in so many different ways. As you can see, the Type R pedal and the stock S2000 pedal is completely different. Obviously it's different, but even the side view is completely different too. So when I thought I lost all hope on getting this thing to run drive-by-wire, I ended up getting on the V8 S2000 chat group and asked if anybody else has ever done a drive-by-wire setup. And a lot of people said that they did. And the only thing you had to do was grab the AP2 cable assembly plus the module that you need for it, and you can make this work. I got really lucky. Somebody on the chat actually had the assembly with the cable and everything for the swap, so I ended up buying it from him, and now I am able to convert this to drive-by-wire. So everything I need is inside this box. So to start off, I have the AP2 throttle assembly plus the cable. I did not buy this from him, but this is my brand new Bosch 82mm throttle body that the throttle body adapter is designed to fit. So hopefully this should just bolt right on. And then I was told for this, all I need to do is just put this somewhere in the corner here, route the cable, and then it should work. One thing that I'm noticing just right off the bat is that I can't mount this up without taking off the fuse box. By the looks of it, I can't just mount this up. I had to finagle it around the brake lines, but it should work. So I got one bolt in right now. That's pretty much all I can do with how this is mounted. I might have to make a bracket at the bottom of here so I can reach up to that hole right there. Now this is in, I'm going to grab the cable and route this inside the car. Actually, before I put this cable in, I'm going to see if I need to put the cable through the pedal assembly first. One thing about this pedal is that I do not need the second cable holder because this is for cruise control, and then you have the main one for the actual throttle body. So I get to take this off, but I need to take off this little detent. I'm trying to use this little flathead to pick this out, and that's not working. I might just grind it off and just take it off that way. Grinding it off is the fastest way. Picking it off is probably the safest. Now we just have the pedal. My second attempt, first one was noticing that I did not need this. I had to take everything back off again. Second time to charm. So we have the pedal and cable through. So now we just have to route this in. I gotta stop this from flinging up though. So cable is connected, ended up routing it underneath the brake booster. So now I'm going to check to see if this actually works. So this connector that I originally got for this Civic Type R pedal does not fit. This is what I bought it for, and no go. But this actually fits. This this connector. Really got lucky with buying this because I bought that pedal in this like a month and a half ago before I ended up getting this. Just fortunate that this fits with this. So this will be getting capped and will get wired in the day I get my wiring harness. Next up is getting this throttle body to fit on the adapter. Certain that this fits. Mainly because this is what the adapter is designed for. Designed to fit this 82 mil. So take off the bolts and do a quick test fit before actually mount this on. Throttle body on. I had to take it back off because I needed an extra washer in between the throttle body and the adapter. Got it back on, and I have the connector for it too. I'm not going to put it on right now. It's going to be saved up for when everything gets pinned with the harness. Good amount of clearance away from the oil filler. While I'm over here, something that I did off camera like a few weeks ago, I installed my vacuum block. This is going to be getting used for brake booster, my boost solenoid, and anything else that I need. I do have some vacuum line ports in the back of the intake manifold too. That's just going to be there just in case. I do know I need a line big enough for the brake booster. I really like how low profile this is, especially from the front. You can't see it as much unless you go off to the side. I had this thing for quite some time. I do need an engine inspection plate for this. So I'm going to be looking for this. Might try to get this in a couple weeks. I think I had a bolt go through, so I need to go underneath the car eventually, find that bolt and take it out. End up having to crush my oil filter because this is super tight. I had to take this off so I can get the lower cooling line on. This also fits in good too. And I'm also able to get my hands around the oil filter whenever I do need to do an oil change. I found my old hood struts. It took me a while to find the hardware for it, but luckily I still had it. So I'm gonna end up putting this back in, and by doing that, I no longer need to hook up the hood. So I'm trying to remember how this works because it's been so long. It goes on the inside like so, and I just have to remove this bolt and put this back in. Bracket is on, and I think this part attaches to part for the hood, and then this end point to that bolt. Or actually, I take this bolt off and I replace it with this one. I might try to find a rubber grommet for this so I won't potentially crack the fender. I don't have any grease, but I do have some oil, so I'm gonna lube up both sides and install it. With a slight touch, hood goes up on its own. I ended up having to switch the brackets around. These were flipped around the wrong side. Other than that, this worked. One of these hood struts might pop out because I don't have the retention clip in it. It is what it is. It goes up and it goes down pretty hard actually, so I gotta keep that in mind. It's kind of up right now because I need to get some hood pins so I can clamp it down in the front. I have one last thing to install, or technically four, which are these spark plugs. Just for the startup, that will be upgrading from these to some better ones. Now I get to put these in and take the old tape off. So look how weird these spark plugs are. I'm used to seeing the single tip or like the dual tip. This has to be like a rotary thing. Like, how do you even gap this? And now we have spark plugs, all four of them. The little stuff that is making the difference. I'm down for the day. For some reason, it is humid as hell. Like, everything is like hot to the touch. I am gonna do some more test fitting of a few like OEM things that I would love to keep in the car if I have the chance to. Still have the radiator brackets that I want to try to make in the next week or so, hopefully. Till then, see you guys later. Oh man, I almost went down.